Hello learners, welcome to this course on SWAYAM on preparation of research proposal in social sciences. Today we are into the lecture number 2 and topic is why to make research proposal. As you all know that we have discussed in the lecture number 1 that what is research proposal, what are the basics of research proposal. Today we will move little more further that why to make research proposal. See, research start with some certain question and today's lecture is also a kind of a question to all of you that why to make research proposal. Is it really necessary? Can we not do research without research proposal? We have to discuss over all these things. So let us begin and discuss why to make a research proposal. Key learning themes. In this discussion, we will discuss about need of research proposal. What is the need of research proposal? Justifying your research, proposing convincing arguments, planning and guiding your research, legal and ethical considerations. These all things are the fundamental aspects that a researcher should understand and should focus over, that why I have to do these things, why I have to counter these things in order to make a well drafted research proposal. So let us start. Need of research proposal. As we all know that research is a systematic process of inquiry. It needs various components, and as a researcher you have to define your all components in a very systematic manner and on the basis of logical arguments. Therefore, you can see research proposal is very important for teachers, academic bodies, funding agencies, or the scientific community can examine the research intent. Researcher intent is very important. Whenever anybody is examining your research idea, they are very much concerned about what is your intent in the research, what you actually want to do. Therefore, a research proposal, if you will see, provides a full strength to the researcher and shows that intent, that what I really want to do as a researcher, and helps you to communicate your thought, your idea, your methodologies and your perspectives of research to this teachers, academic bodies, funding agencies and other scientific community. Next is the proposal usually provides an ordered arrangement of various components of the proposal to conduct research. There are various components of research that we will discuss in the upcoming lectures, and without that components, making a research proposal cannot be done. Therefore, research proposal is required to make a ordered arrangement of various components, whether it is background of the study, whether it is rationale of the study, whether it is objective, hypothesis, methodology, data analysis, delimitation, whatever is there. As a researcher, you have to counter all these things and make a systematic arrangement about these components which strengthens your research proposal, and you will be able to communicate it properly to the person concerned. Next is, it includes background. As I have just said, it includes background, objective, literature review, methodology, timeline and expected outcomes. This all things gives the strength to the researcher in order to convince the person that yes, this is my research idea and I am going to take research like in this manner. और ये सभी के लिए आप देखिए ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है, आप अपनी बात को कैसे रखते हैं ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है। रिसर्च के फील्ड में ये और महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है कि हम अपनी बात को कैसे कह रहे हैं, हमारी ज़रूरत क्या है, हमारी मेथोडोलॉजी क्या होगी, हम कितने समय में इस काम को कर लेंगे और इस काम को करने की मौलिक आवश्यकताएं क्या हैं। ये सभी चीज़ें रिसर्च प्रपोजल में डिस्कस होती है। एनी रिसर्च विच यू आर डूइंग, it may be contextual or may not be contextual, or sometimes research is over research, especially in the social science. Social sciences these things happens more because we have this subjectivity in various kind of attributes, and we have to focus in minimizing this subjectivity and coming to the researches that should not be over research. Therefore, we have to do literature review, we have to refine our objective, what is the background of our study. All these things comes into the research proposal. Next is, it helps the researcher to get a clear and precise view of what they intended to do, how to conduct the work actually in the field. This is a very I would say interesting thing to be discussed as a researcher. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हम बहुत सारी चीज़ों को समझ लेते हैं, प्लान कर लेते हैं, पर असल चुनौती एग्जीक्यूशन में होता है, हाउ टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट, हाउ टू कंडक्ट इट. रिसर्च प्लान, रिसर्च प्रपोजल इसमें आपकी सहायता करता है. यह आपको एक ऐसा रूपरेखा बनाता है जिस रूपरेखा में आप अपनी काम को, अपनी समस्या को ग्रास रूट लेवल पर कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, इसमें आपकी सहायता करता है. Therefore, if you really want to do a good research which makes a sense to the society, which is utility to the society and contribute to the existing knowledge system, you need a good crafted design research proposal. Next is justifying your research. देखिए, रिसर्च प्रपोजल मुख्यतः आपके जितनी भी रिसर्च आइडियाज़ हैं, जो रिसर्च के आपके थॉट्स हैं, जो आपके मन में विचार हैं कि मुझे इन मुद्दों पर, समस्याओं पर आगे बढ़ना है, उसको जस्टिफाई करने में आपकी सहायता करता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इन अ रिसर्च यू कैन नॉट से एनीथिंग दैट आई फील, इट इज़ नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल. ये स्वीकार नहीं है. आपने जो पाया उसे तथ्यात्मक रूप से you have to verify it with some kind of evidences. आपको verify करना होगा कि yes, I found this, I observed this, I recorded this. Therefore, as a researcher, it is very, very important for you that not to be vague in terms of expressing your opinion, because it's not about feeling, it's about reporting. हमने क्या पाया, हमने क्या तथ्य पाए हैं, उन तथ्यों के आधार पर हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. इसीलिए अगर आप देखें, रिसर्च प्रपोजल हेल्प्स यू, इट हेल्प्स यू इन जस्टिफाइंग योर रिसर्च. रिसर्च प्रपोजल्स आर रिक्वायर्ड टू कम्युनिकेट आइडियाज in a formal and operationalized style to university, college and research institution for approval. Let me be very, very clear here to all my learners that when you want to pursue research in a formal manner, whether you want to go to university, any college or any other research institution for approval, you need, my dear, a research proposal. You need it. Without research proposal, it becomes vague that how you will communicate, how you will articulate your ideas to the other person. Therefore, if you need to provide a proper justification to your research thought, research ideas and research problem, you need a research proposal, because you formalize the things here, and not only formalize, you operationalize here. For example, let us take here, let us consider achievement. If a researcher is taking achievement in any kind of a research, then you have to define achievement with the operational definition, that what you mean, what you intend about achievement in your research. Next example you can take, attitude. Attitude is having a universal definition, but what attitude means in your research, what you understand as an attitude in your particular research, you have to operationalize, and these things you do with the help of your research proposal. Next is, funding agency that sponsor research usually require a well drafted research proposal to understand the research idea and allot funds accordingly. आप देखिए, कोई भी रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशन हो, अगर आपसे रिसर्च प्रपोजल की डिमांड की गई है, इनविटेशन है, and you need some grant, then believe me, getting grant requires some fundamental things to be done by a researcher, and that is to provide clarity of your thoughts, clarity in your budget, clarity in various components of the research proposal. आपकी मेथोडोलॉजी क्या होगी, इस पर आपका प्रपोजल रिजेक्ट किया जा सकता है. आपके टूल्स क्या हैं, इस पर आपका रिसर्च प्रपोजल रिजेक्ट किया जा सकता है. और इन सबसे बड़ी बात, सभी चुनौतियों को आप हल करने के लिए जो फाइनेंस मांगते हैं, जो बजट आप मांगते हैं, if it is not suitable, if it is not inclined with the research demand, your research proposal is subject to be rejected. Therefore, if you want to justify these things, that yes, this is my problem, this is amount I need, this is my methodology, this is my tool, and this is the existing knowledge, that I'm not doing the research topic which is over research, you have to make a research proposal. Next is, the proposal reflects the relevancy and significance of the study. This is another a very important thing that I am discussing from the beginning, from the lecture 1 also, that if any research you are doing, yes, you are doing research, you are following all the rules and regulation, you are doing it very technically in a very sound manner, but whether it is relevance or significance to the society, whether it adds to the society, whether it provides any kind of outputs which can be utilized in future by the society or the academia. These things you have to understand very minutely. Otherwise, you will work hard on all the components, on the aspects of the research proposal, but at the last you will get rejected because it has a point, it has a very valid point. देखिए, जो भी काम आप करते हैं उसकी उपयोगिता होनी चाहिए, उसकी प्रासंगिकता होनी चाहिए, उसका एक महत्व होना चाहिए. अदरवाइज आपको कोई ग्रांट क्यों दे, या आपके रिसर्च प्रपोजल को क्यों एक्सेप्ट करे और हम उस प्रपोजल के साथ आगे क्यों बढ़ें. इट्स अ बिग क्वेश्चन दैट अ रिसर्चर हैज टू काउंटर while framing the research proposal. Next is knowledge generation, social utility and inclination of research. Idea are also visualized through the proposal. In a research, the most important aspect is finding. What you are gaining by investing lots of money, lots of manpower and lots of time. A research consumes so many things. You need a manpower, you need finance, you need infrastructure, you need a system. After using all these things, in last, if you are getting something which is of social utility and inclination of research ideas, what you have thought, you have to visualize it through the research proposal. That yes, I am thinking this and this is I am showing to you, because your research proposal should be vibrant. It should show that yes, this is my thing and this is the tentative results which we assume that when you do any research, yes, what we can get. So this things is also very important by looking into this knowledge generation, social utility and inclination of the research idea through the research proposal. And last is the research competency, the researcher competency in conducting such a research project. This is another important part. This also I will discuss in upcoming lectures in a detail, that sometime the institution, the grant agency, the universities, they look into your research expertise. That do you have expertise in this kind of research or conducting some certain kind of a research? You have to prove yourself. You have to show that yes, this is the thing that I am doing and this is my objective, and how related to objective I have an inclined methodology and relevant tool with the help of which I will collect data and I will make meaningful inferences on the basis of all the things what I am doing. So a research proposal shows and gives a justification to researcher competency also, that whether it can be done in a significant manner or not. So be aware of all these things before you make a research proposal and articulate your ideas into a very concrete plan. These things are very important, and all these things affects, combine together and affects the grant, the approval of your proposal, because rejection of a research proposal is the outcome of many factors. many factors, whatever I am discussing from lecture number 1 to lecture number 2, any factor which is not suitable, which is not relevant to the required system, they will reject, and your research proposal will become meaningless. So please be aware of these things. Next is proposing convincing argument. Here I will start with a very basic discussion, that in a research proposal there are many things that you write, there are many things that you propose, there are many things that you feel that I will do this in this and this manner. But in a research, your thoughts, your arguments are only acceptable when you provide some evidences to it. For example, if you say that there are less researches conducted in some areas, it cannot be accepted only by saying. You need a thorough study of literature. You need to go deeper into that area of the research or the variable which you are doing, and show by literature review that yes, throughout the year in a chronological manner, these researches or these variables have been researched over a period of time which is less in the number or more in number, whatever you want to show. Therefore, in a research proposal, in various components, researcher needs to propose convincing and logical arguments. Very importantly, I am telling logical arguments. Some of the major components that needs arguments and justification are, you can see here on the screen: rationale, selecting a particular research design, selecting a certain population and sample, particular tool or instrument, techniques of data handling and analysis, and arguments for proposing a certain budget. All these things a researcher have to provide a very logical and systematic arguments which can convince the person who is looking into the proposal. For example, these are the components which we will discuss later on in a detail, but right now we have to understand that whatever the rationale you are proposing for your study, you should have a proper convincing argument that yes, this is my rationale of the study and why this particular research should be done and how it can contribute to the existing knowledge system. Next is selecting a particular research design. If you see in many researches, it happens that objective is fine, hypothesis is fine, review of literature is also fine, but somewhere we feel that the way you want to do this research, that is research design, the way you want to conduct this research is not appropriate, is not suitable, is not inclined to the objective. For example, here just I am giving an example. If you see that if you are doing a research for accountability of someone, it cannot be done by the help of questionnaire or descriptive survey method, only descriptive survey method. If you ask to somebody that are you accountable to your job, most of the people they will say yes, I am very, very accountable. It means this questionnaire and descriptive survey method is not appropriate here. You have to go for some kind of qualitative inquiry. Qualitative inquiry means you can go for participant observation or you can go for observation to know that whether this person is accountable or not. So selecting a particular research design is of prime importance and concern for research proposal, and as a researcher you have to provide a very solid, concrete and logical convincing argument that why I have selected this particular research design. Next is selecting a certain population and sample. Selecting a certain population and sample. There will be more and more discussions while you present your synopsis or while you submit your synopsis that why you choose some certain population and sample. For example, if you see when you go to the ethnographic studies, anthropological studies, selecting a sample and population has a very different ideas here. it is different. So why you are selecting some population, why you are selecting some certain sample as a researcher, you have to provide a strong and valid arguments for this. Next is particular tool or instrument. See, in a research we use various kind of a tool like questionnaire, schedule, case study schedule, checklist, many things are there, or sometimes we adopt some tool or instruments. So as a researcher you have to make an argument and clarity of thoughts that why this particular kind of a tool or instrument I am going to utilize in my research. Because it is not only done by saying that okay, I like that I will use questionnaire in this study. No, it's not valid. It's not valid. You have to give some certain evidences which are inclined with your objective and your methodology that yes, this is my requirement, therefore I am using this kind of particular tool or adopting this kind of a tool. So when you make a research proposal, it helps you. It helps you in making and providing the convincing arguments toward particular tool and its selection. Next is technique of data handling and analysis. This is another very important and a very significant component of all this research proposal. See, in a research we can have qualitative data, we can have quantitative data, or sometimes we can have mixed kind of a data. As a researcher, you have to be very precise and accurate that yes, with this kind of data, whatever I have collected, what data handling and technique I will use. For example, if you are having qualitative data, you have to understand that what are the ways, what are the techniques that I can handle this data, I can code this data, and I can analyze it for making meaningful interpretations. So all these things, if you see, are confronted by research proposal. It gives you the strength, it gives you the roadmap that yes, this component you address very systematically, very logically, and make your idea sound and communicate it further. Last is arguments for proposing certain budget. As I am discussing many times, here again it comes because it's a important tail of your research proposal. Whatever you are proposing, whatever you need in terms of finance or whatever the facility you need, you have to provide a very concrete, very convincing and very logical, rationale based arguments that yes, I need it due to this, I need it due to this, without this, this is going to be happen, and these mappings are there. And as a researcher, when you make these things, it's my belief that it enriches your research. Many a time when you look onto the budget, then you come back to the things that oh, I have to make a change here because my budget is not supporting here. And if you want to increase budget, many times you have to look into the again experimental design or survey kind of design, or sometime you are doing interview. You need different kinds of budget for different kinds of a research. Therefore, as a researcher, it's your prime responsibility that please make very concrete arguments towards proposing some certain budget. Next is planning and guiding your research. See, in an overall research proposal, it helps you in making many meaningful actions. For example, when you thought of a research idea and you go to pursue research, even you make a synopsis also, there is a major scope of highlighting knowledge gap. Many a time I am telling to my all learners that if you make any research proposal and if you go for any interview for the presentation of your research proposal, the first question or maybe the second, third, fourth question, but it will be there, and that question is why you want to do this research. Do we really need to conduct this research? Is it required? Is it worthy? Is it meaningful? And your knowledge gap will provide a support to you. It will provide a support to you. You can defend your topic, need of your topic, that why my research is to be done, because this knowledge gap is there, this issue is there. Address any gap in your understanding. Be proactive in learning. Whatever you learn, be very proactive in terms of identifying your knowledge gap, because several research proposals just rejected because of no need. Research is correct, research is fine, very good, but we don't need it. We don't need it. For example, if you see, nowadays in a society we have so many medicines which can lower down the body temperature. We can use so many medicines are there. So it is already an established thing. We need something more. We need some researches which are based and which can support some different kind of diseases which are not being cured. Same thing happens in the social science also. Challenge is there, issues are there, and if it is under research or any aspect is there which is hidden under the carpet, means not research, you have to look into that and make a very meaningful arguments toward your knowledge gap. And research proposal ultimately helps you. It ultimately helps you in making all these things. Next is method flaws. As I have just discussed, it is again very important to think here that in a research, if your method is not appropriate, for example, whatever methodology you are taking is not inclined to the demand of the research, research is automatically not going to be considered by anyone. So please make a solid methods are very crucial. It's very crucial, because methodology is the thing that how you execute your plans, how you execute your ideas into the grassroots level situation. So it's very important that how you minimize and make your methods appropriate. Next is reduce risk. Research proposal helps you in making your ideas more visible, more vibrant, more sound, more appealing to the someone who is looking into that, because it shows the way that yes, how you articulate your all the thoughts in a very logical manner, in a systematic manner, and ultimately it decreases the chance of failure and gives you optimum chance to be selected. Therefore, it reduces the chance of project failure, and at the last, preparation is the key. The way you prepare, the way you do it. Legal and ethical consideration. This is very important, my dear learners, in terms of making research proposal, doing research. You see, now we are in a world of different technologies where generative artificial intelligence can produce anything for you in the form of ChatGPT, Gemini, and other AI platforms. Nobody takes the responsibility of that. Who is the author of some certain content generated by ChatGPT with the help of generative artificial intelligence? Therefore, legal and ethical considerations, I say, took very seriously. The moment you show a casual approach to academic integrity, you can be penalized. You can be penalized. Sometimes you do knowingly, sometimes you do unknowingly, but rules are rules. So be very cautious, very clear about legal and ethical consideration while you form your research proposal. You can see here ensuring academic integrity. Ethical research avoids plagiarism and data fabrication, promotes honesty, transparency, and accountability, build trust in academic finding. It's a very important, and being as a responsible citizen, responsible learner of any university, any research institution, any college, you have to be very honest in terms of being reporting what you have got. Never hide anything. If you have learned something from somewhere, if you have known something from somewhere, or even you have taken some idea or some findings which has led you to go further in a research, please make it reported. Be very transparent, promote honesty and avoid data fabrication. You all might be knowing data fabrication. See, you got some definition from somewhere and making some minor changes with the help of any tool, it does not make a sense that it is yours, and legally you will be penalized. You will be penalized seriously if it found under the range of plagiarism. So be very cautious about ensuring academic integrity and these aspects while you make research proposal, and it helps you in countering all these things, because moment you make research proposal, it confines the thing, it makes the thing pinpointed and very concise. Next is compliance with laws and institutional policies. Research must align with national laws. Example, data protection, copyright. Institutions like universities often have ethical committees or IRBs, institutional reviews boards, that ensure proposals follow proper guidelines. You can see there are various kind of departmental research committees, names may be different, in various colleges, institutions and research institutions. That how we are taking plagiarism, how we are considering data fabrications, how we are looking into the copyrights. Never violate the copyright. There are several kinds of rules and laws which regulates copyright and related issues in the academic fraternity. Be aware of these things, and research proposals should be free from all these things. Next is promoting social responsibility. Ethical research considers the broader impact on society, communities and the environment. It ensures that findings are used constructively and equitably. It's a very challenging thing for a researcher, that what research you are doing, whatever you are doing, is it ensures that it is constructive in nature and equitably distributed throughout the society. The moment you make your research proposal, the moment you start to form your research proposal, it gives you a sense of responsibility which is inclined toward the nation and society, that yes, I will conduct this in this and this manner. So research proposal provides you overall legal and ethical consideration, that what is to be done, what is not to be done, because they have some certain components and you cannot violate that components. For example, when you are writing proposal, you have to write some citations. If you are taking some ideas from somewhere, you have to write citation, and at the last you have to give due credit to the author or a group of author in the form of references or bibliography. So this is all concluding discussion we have here now. You need research proposal for various kind of thing which we have discussed in the lecture, but there are some major aspects now I am highlighting, that more chances of success rate. It's a very practical aspect of research proposal. If you want to improve the success rate of selection of your research proposal for university, colleges or institute, you need a well drafted, crafted research proposal. Next is effective time management. Research is not a thing which can be done haphazardly and which can be done without a plan. You need some plan, and plan needs time. How much time? And especially the student, those who are undergoing for dissertation, postgraduate dissertation and their doctoral dissertation or postdoctoral dissertation, they have the time. They need to have very clear idea about the time management. Therefore, research proposal provides you a roadmap, a chance to define your time, that I will do this time, this work in this time this work in this time, and ultimately it makes you effective in terms of time management. Next is clarity of goals, which is another very important thing. See, when you pursue research, especially I am talking about doctoral students, postdoctoral students, your goal should be very clear, that what is to be done, how it has to be done, and in how much time tentatively you plan it has to be done. And if you can do this, you have a clarity of goals and you can achieve your target within the time. And you see, this all things, more chances of success rate, effective time management, clarity of goals, they are mutually interdependent over each other. The moment you miss one, the second will be hampered automatically. Next is demonstrating feasibility. It's another important aspect of the research proposal, that whatever you are planning, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are designing, whether it is feasible or not. If it is feasible, go ahead. If it is not feasible, look into the practicality, you look into the usability aspect of the research idea, and research proposal helps you in this, because the moment you come to this point, these things will come into the action, that yes, how you check into the feasibility of your research topic. And last is adequate funding, that I am discussing from the beginning, that research proposal helps you in thinking and proposing adequate amount of budget. And it's a matter of every time in every research, that whatever you are proposing and how much finance you are required for it, it should be mapped. It should be mapped, that this task required this much budget, this task required this much budget, this task required this much budget. All these things is being supposed to be reported in a research proposal, and a moment researcher thinks more deeper into these things and propose it in a very systematic, logical and a meaningful manner, the selection of research proposal, chances of selection of research proposal goes higher. So I believe that these things are very important, and as a researcher you should look into this aspect to make a very meaningful research proposal. Thank you so much.